too full to go.
Hello, welcome back to another pen talk. Today we're going to be revisiting one of my favorite places is buys that I've gotten from eBay. I did a Sheaffer balance restore video about a month or so ago, and as I mentioned, you could spend your life collecting all the different balances, but this one showed up on eBay, and I do love pen and pencil sets, and I don't have this particular style, and it is the large size balance. So let's take a look at these in the as received condition, and then we'll do a little restoring and get these beauties all ready to write up. This is just a very interesting celluloid acrylic Pyroline, as DuPont made for Sheaffer and most of the other pen manufacturers in the 30s. The pen arrived in relatively good condition. I mean, there's always going to be a little bit of wear, a little bit of oxidation, but functionally the pen's in good shape, and that's really how I gear these with. And if you look at this pen as is, you can see there's slight discolorations in some of the chunks of ivory. Don't know exactly how this material was made, probably compression molded, or because in order to keep these colors distinct, you really can't extrude it. You may have poured this and had it cure into sheets, a number of different methods. Unscrew cap, and it takes about 3/4 of a turn, which is good. And all these pens have very impressive nibs on them. This is the earlier version of the lifetime nibs. It has a serial number down at the bottom. It has the flat bottom feed. From some of the earlier videos, you saw that some of these have like a comb feed where the fins are also exposed in the back. These just have the fins on the nib side. A short section, which is common with these pens, but you don't feel the thread, so you can really hold it anywhere you want. The threads have a little bit of ink discoloration in them, which is common at this period of time. Lever fill, which is nice. And as you can see, the pen, considering it's probably in its 80s, is in good shape. It has an engraving on it from at least one of the prior owners. It may have been the original owner. And then there's your Sheaffer engraving. It's patented without date, so this probably puts it in the late 30s. I've already removed the section because when I got it, I was very eager to find out if, number one, the section would come out easy, and also to find the original sack inside, which is what I like to do when I buy vintage pens, especially on eBay, is they've not been restored or worked with, so I'll be the first person to bring the life back into this. The pencil is just a unique style. I mean, it's somewhat, comical in its design with the high top on it. It's meant to follow the Sheaffer balance. This is actually in better shape than the pen, so this probably wasn't in active use as much as the pen was. When it came, it didn't have any lead in it, but I was able to put a lead in. As you can see, it goes out and in very easily. The cap pulls off, and there's your eraser, which has long since been useful. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I'm not going to necessarily need an eraser. This comes out, and you can put leads in here to keep, it fills from the front. It's not a propel fill, which was unique for the Eversharp or the Eversharp pens at the time, pencils at the time. Everything fits very tight, so I'm very happy with this. I've worked to restore these too. The pencil is absolutely in excellent condition. I think this is a phenomenal acrylic in color here. It has interesting chatoyancy to it in the ivory pieces, and also, the black just kind of sets it off. But this pen, I would say, is in pretty much mint condition. Everything works on it functionally. It cleaned up very well. I think what's nice is the Sheaffer engraved on the clip. The clip works well. You know, the lead extends and retracts. Takes a nice long piece of lead. And if we compare it to the pen, as you can see, the pen has aged over time. It still has some interesting chatoyancy to it. Without comparing it to the pencil, you may not know that it has aged. You know, the black is still nice and black, but the ivory is darkened over time. You know, but it's still nice, and it's nice with the level of details. I mean, both of these cleaned up extremely well, considering their age. These are from the mid-30s. So I'm very, very happy with that, and we're gonna ink it up in a little bit. We have an engraving here. It's William A. Lindgren. Hopefully you can, we'll take a look at it close. There we go. So again, if someone knows of that person, an individual, and they want their pen back, give me a call or drop me a line. One of the things that, like I said, this was nice because this pen came apart very easily. Was able to replace the bladder. Really nice size nib on it, lifetime nib, as that serial number in there, which they did in the 30s. It fits extremely well in the hand, as you saw from the ruler. You know, uncapped, it's still a good 5 inches in length from end to end. It posts very nicely, posts very securely, and posted it's good 6 inches long. So like I said, it's a balanced pen, and it fits very well in the hand. We're going to ink it up and write with it. Before we do that, I thought we'd compare it to just a few other pens, just so you can get an idea of the size. That's your Jinhao 450, your Lamy Safari, and your M800. And as you can see, the Sheaffer balance, the large Sheaffer balance, certainly holds its own amongst these pens. We're going to fill it up with this ink. It took me a while to figure out what ink I wanted, and I grabbed this one because I think it'll look interesting in this pen. Yeah, a nice dark blue. This is the first time I've used this pen since I put the bladder in it. So this is the first inking. We're going to insert it up to the top of the section. You can see the bubbling. Nice ink draw. So as I meant, those of you that know me, I fill all my pens 3 times the first time, so and even expelled more air that time. You know, this saturates the feed. I'll make certain there's a good flow of ink in and out in case there's anything left there. You know, it'll be flushed. So I think that'll good. We leave it there for about 10 seconds. Clean off the ink. We'll wipe off the nib and put nib to paper. So we're going to put nib to paper for the first time. I'm going to use this posted. It just feels good posted. So let's take a look at this. Nice flow. It is a fine nib, which is what I expect. Almost all of these Sheaffers are extremely fine. No flex. So this is a stiff nib. But, you know, the flow is great. I mean, that's a nice dark line. And as you know, you can write small and large. I'm just going to do a little smoothing. I don't think it's absolutely critical, but I think it'll just put that little touch on the nib that I'm looking for. There's some ink on there from the smoothing thing. Just a minor change. But this requires no pressure to write. I like this color in this pen. It works well. So hopefully you've enjoyed this view of a restoration of a vintage pen. I think it was very reasonable on eBay. It was very easy to restore it. I'm very happy with it. And hopefully you've enjoyed this visual view of it. So thank you for watching. And may you have great pen experiences, explore, expand, try new things, and enjoy life. Till later, bye.